Good morning and a warm welcome to the Sobha Click to Home. I've been in Sobha since inception. It's been 25 years. Initially, I was for first 15 years I was in the execution, in the domain of real estate and contracts. Subsequently, then I have migrated to the verticals: quality, technology, infrastructure, value engineering, and training. Journey of Sobha 25 years has been absolutely marvelous. Every day is a learning curve for us. And then what happens is we started as a boutique company with a full focus on quality, and that was something which has continuously been our key driving factor. We believe that the quality is the essence of the construction, and this has always been throughout, and we've been leveraging technology along with that. And today, I think the industry benchmarks Sobha as the quality pillar for the country. Now, we've gone for a Maiwan technology, which is used where the concrete is done in the walls itself with the slab. We have precast technology, which is again a step forward. And these are the pioneer, technology innovations that's been seen in the industry, which we have very comfortably adopted. And we actually are doing a majority construction in this. See, engineering is all about precision, and precision comes with technology and an eye and keen eye for perfection. Germans are known for that, and their non-compromising attitude towards quality, which we are evident from the automobile industry. So the same Germans are here, and they are hands-on. That's the best part. They are all master masons who have the knowledge to construct themselves, which unfortunately, if an engineer passes in India, he could not do it with his own hands. But a German master mason can build, so he can tell you the best technique and technology required to do the construction. See, there is always an expectation that a customer has from a product. We are selling a product. Now, you have an expectation from the product, and if it matches the expectation, you say it has achieved its required quality. Now, as an home, what we look at is an ultimate delight for the customer in staying there, in the services, in the form, fit, and even in the finishes. Now, if you have perfection, you have everything so beautifully fitting in that you don't have any distresses in the building, and you can enjoy the building for years and years and generations to come. So, quality generally is a long term, and it's not a short term or just a feel that you get initially. It evolves through that time. See, we have in each of our marketing offices, we have what's called a Sobha Museum. The Sobha Museum tells us the inside story. So each step of the construction is laid out in the natural way, on the real time, real size, so that you can understand what goes behind the walls. So that is something which is quite educative to a very already educated client, and he appreciates us showing us the inside story. So this is something which is not there when the other builders tell you, or anybody else in the industry. When they focus on the detailing, they don't give so much of detail to the customer. We are very transparent in showing what exactly goes behind all this construction. See, basically what we do is we are looking at a construction which has to withstand the vagaries of the weather for so many years, and also the wear and tear that generally comes. So what we do is we reinforce those areas which could be susceptible to these kind of distress. A crack is always disconcerting to the mind, and what we do is we reinforce it with the mesh, what we call as a plaster mesh. We have this corner beads, we have the corner meshes. All these are those small things that make a big difference in the final end, the finish of the product, and also the longevity of the product. We have 28 activities. These 28 activities are again subdivided into 74 sub activities, and we have checklists. This checklist constitutes 1, 4, 5, 6 numbers. Now each checklist have got to be religiously, meticulously closed if you have to go to the next point. So this manual tells us exactly how a thing has to be done, and that is religiously followed. The final product is always of a very high quality, and it's very standardized, and no changes are allowed. And we do keep amending the technology manual based on the new technology innovations that come in the industry. We are actually not looking as the apartment as a unit, we look it as an elemental approach. Now your flooring is one element, your wall is one element, your plaster is another element. So that is how we look at it as an elemental approach. And each element, if it is done to the required quality, then the entire product comes as a desired quality. So what we do is we have a system where each checklist is for each element. So this element checklist will help us to ensure that by parts everything is checked to the quality. Then only the final thing comes to the required quality. Snagging, let me first define snagging for you. Snagging is actually a preventive method of ensuring that there is zero error. This is like debugging in the software industry. So when we do snagging, we have different stages at which we do the snagging. We have the first stage, that the snagging is the door level, the painting level, the joint level. We have certain stages at which the snaggings are done. Now each step, unless we don't finish, we do not get into the next step. So this is a kind of a check which acts as a barrier so that a defective element does not carry over to the next stage. Now once we finish our snagging, which is a very meticulously done process, but it is integrated in the construction activity itself. So there is no time as such required for that, it runs parallel along with the construction. Finally, after the entire snagging is done, we have the chairman of the company himself walk through the entire project and he himself does the snagging, and once it is okay by him, only then it is declared livable and it is handed over to the customer. A customer, when he comes to Sobha, first of all he comes because he knows Sobha is synonymous with quality. So his expectation of quality is very high. Now if he is to get something, it is to meet or even surpass his expectation. For that, these quality checks are done in a very stringent manner, and once he is given it, the possession of the apartment, what happens here is every element of that apartment, be it the civil part, the electrical mechanical part, or even the fit outs like the doors, all those are done perfectly to his satisfaction or even better than what he feels, and that is what he is looking for. The snagging helps us to do that. It may take us some more time, we don't hurry it up, and unless it is not checked and rechecked and closed properly in our records, we do not take the chance of giving it to him. Before I say about safety, let me tell you that Sobha is the only company in the country which does all its construction by itself. So all the workers are from the Sobha family. Now what happens here is, since the workers are the people who are working and they are the people who are finally giving us, we tend to look after them the way we feel is appropriate. What generally we do is we make sure they have got beautiful labor camps with very good facilities, so their stay is taken care of. And then obviously, since they are very important for the construction and for the country, we make sure the safety standards that we keep up at the topmost for the industry. And the people are having high safety concerns are being addressed very highly, which makes sure that the worker is also trained in safety. Now zero accident is our policy for the safety in the sites. This is one part of it. Now second part of it, now let's look at the usage part of the apartments and the facility that we give to our dear clients. We make sure that balcony railings are not less than 1.1 meter so that they are safe. The verticals in the MS are not more than 70 mm, so that we don't have the kids going through them. We make sure that we have anti-skid floors in the toilets so that the people do not have any possibility of slipping while having a bath. We have a lot of concern for the adequate lighting in all the corridors, staircases, etc., so that it's well lit. And then we also give a lot of priority for all these facilities that are given. Like a swimming pool is never more than 5 feet deep. So you are very safe in those kind of things, and the children's pool are given separately. So those are the small things that make a big difference in showing our concern for the safety of the customer also. We have, our workforce is close to 6,000 technicians, and we have over 10,000 subcontractor workers. Now, in this industry, the entire quality can be achieved only if you have skilled manpower. We have different ratings for the manpower. You have an A class, A, AA and AAA rated skilled workmen. Now, a person who joins us and he goes through a training in our academy, after 6 months he is given an A rating. Then subsequently he is upgraded to AA and AAA. Now, all this training happens in the academy. We have in-house academy and on-site training also, to make sure that the worker is knowing the skills and the nuances of the activity to do a proper job, first time without any error. Value engineering is a very appropriate terminology in the current context, where the cost is a major concern. So, achieving something at a lower cost, a better quality at a lower cost, is what broadly one can define value engineering. So, every aspect of the construction is looked into, and we see alternate technology available in the market. This technology can be available at a higher cost, but then that is not what is going to help the company. What we go for is a very appropriate technology which comes at a reasonable cost, which gives better value to the customer. That is what the value engineering does. And time and again we keep migrating from various required and available technology to a better and a more scientific and more appropriate technology. So, value engineering always facilitates that. So, this is a constant work, it never stops, and it is always beneficial to the company to do the value engineering in the way that we look at every aspect and improve its value. We adapt from the innovations. We don't have an R&D facility as such in the company, but then there's a lot of work that's happening in the industry, and we make sure that that is brought into the company and we appropriately apply it, but then with the context of the Indian environment, which is very important. Something which works in Europe may not work in India. So, you have to be very careful of those things also. See, we have stopped building apartments, now we build townships. And townships are having a cluster of apartments, so you got a lot of infrastructure that goes along with that. I'm talking about the drainage facilities, the roads and small culverts, bridges. You have all those kind of things to facilitate the movement of the people within the premises also. Now, all that comes under the infrastructure. So, infrastructure that way also becomes an integral part of that township or that development that we are doing. The major challenge obviously is that we have a very high regard for doing everything to perfection. That is the hallmark of Sobha. I mean, if you can't do it to perfection, then don't do it. And that is run down in every Sobhite. Now, this is something which is top driven. That is also one thing. So, to constantly make the workforce and the colleagues understand that yes, the perfection has to be there in everything you do. It is not just the product that you do, the process, you name it, everything. It has to attain the level of perfection that the company expects you to deliver. That is a major challenge. Then of course it is a different hat you wear at different time. So it really doesn't really make a difference. The essence of the whole thing is the same. You got to achieve and strive for that perfection. I have different departments. I have got close to 150 people in my quality safety department, 10 people in my leadership department, and about 20 people in the infrastructure. Value engineers got about 5 people. So there is a team which works along, and they're very capable team. Sobha has had a lovely run. For 25 years we have been the industry leaders. The industry benchmarks us as a quality icon. Now, looking forward, I see Sobha doing this in more cities in the country, because we have already in 9 odd cities and we should be expanding. The best part of Sobha is that anywhere in the country, if you go and buy a Sobha product, it is the same. So that consistency is achieved with tremendous beautifully laid processes which are not allowed to dilute. Now looking forward, I am seeing technology being a major driver because we are a very innovative company. We bring a lot of innovation in every product that we do, and that is one thing which we are looking at. So I would say the key words would be keeping the quality as the base. We will look at technology and innovation as one of the biggest drivers for Sobha taking things forward, and that should be what will continue to help Sobha be the leader in the industry. Actually, I feel that a house is something which you don't buy for yourself, you buy for your grandchildren. And if you can hand it over across the generations to your grandchild, then that house has served your purpose. So we look at that you don't buy it for yourself, you buy for yours. So we will make sure that you have an ultimate customer delight while you use our premises, and thereafter hand it over to your son or even your grandson. We definitely are very customer centric. For us, the customer is the king, and his requirement in terms of the product, the finish, the quality, the form and fit, all that is what is driving us. And round the clock, 24/7, we are working how to make sure that the product is achieving his requirement and even surpassing his requirement. So this is the kind of work that is happening, and I can be I can rest assure you that the product that you buy from Sobha will always give you the delight that you look for.